I believe we are good to go. So, hi Tenzin, welcome again. And hello
Hi,
everyone.
Nikhil.
I'm doing great. Hello everyone for tuning in today. Starting off, thanks a lot everyone for joining. Uh, we at NatureHealers.live are just we're trying to make gamify sustainability and make it more fun for people to engage in sustainable activities, have fun themselves, and in return help our earth, help climate as well. Today, we did a 1.5 to 2 month home composting pilot. This was the first time we did a home composting earth mission as a pilot. We had some amazing people turning up, doing our earth mission. And Tenzin is one of the first people who completed the entire pilot earth mission for home composting. So that's an amazing feat. He got an amazing feedback from him. And just introducing a little bit about Tenzin, he is a climate action leader, climate reality leader. He's a youth for climate ambassador. He's living in Dharamsala right now. He has done his master's dissertation looking at the large scale composting set of activities in developing countries. Amazing person. We were thrilled to have him do our home composting earth mission so that we can learn from his experiences as well. So, Tenzin, over to you. A quick introduction of yourselves. If I missed something, to take it up.
Well, thank you so much, Nikhil. It's so exciting, and I was very much looking forward to this conversation. So I'm Tenzin Jamyang, and I'm a Tibetan, born and brought up here in Dharamsala, which is a small, hill town uh, in the northern state of Himachal Pradesh. So Dharamsala, as some of you may know, is also the current seat of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibetan people's spiritual
Right.
leader, and also it is the current location of where the central Tibetan administration works. So I mean, uh, I actually was born here nearby a small town called Maklotganj, which in itself is in Dharamsala. So I did my
Right.
schooling from one of the Tibetan schools here. It's called Tibetan Children's Village. There are around 2,000, Tibetan students in here. So after completion of my studies, I did my bachelor's from Punjab University, and then I did my, uh, bachelor's in education, and then I
Right.
rejoined my school as a science teacher, and then everything started, so to say, like this whole thing about environment, and internalizing the work of environment came as the teacher. So because I mean, as a teacher, you need to like lead by example. So I had to internalize that. So I'm also a teacher, and then I got the
Wow.
precious opportunity to study in United States through the U.S. Tibetan Fulbright Scholarship Program, where I did my master's in environmental management. So, and as you said, in my master's program, I also did a master's research project on some of the takeaways from the decentralized composting practices
Right.
in the developing countries. So, and that's how I got involved in the composting process, so to say. And then after completion of my studies, I returned and then have been serving my community ever since I came back like 5 years ago. So I'm currently involved in youth engagement in climate change projects.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's a kind of a long introduction. So I'm super excited and really honored to be to join this conversation with NHL and you, especially Nikhil. Yeah.
You you kind of summed it up really well. Came back full circle, back again. So yeah, Tenzin, as the co-founder of NatureHealers.life, I welcome you to our first ever Insta Live, uh, and welcoming everyone to Tenzin's home composting journey, his quest for black gold. So starting off, Tenzin, amazing story of how you've come back in environmental management. So coming to the home composting Earth mission pilot that we just completed, how did you discover that NHL is coming up with the Earth mission on home composting? How did you discover about it? Can you tell a little bit about that?
So yeah, Nikhil, I'm also a current climate reality leadership corps member. So
Right.
Climate Reality is an organization founded by former Vice President and Nobel laureate Mr. Al Gore. So
Yeah.
it has been an amazing honor to get trained under him in 2020, and that was like during the peak season of the pandemic. So we got the
Yeah.
training through online. So and ever since then, I didn't look back, and I have been very, very involved in this climate reality program, and it's climate reality is like a kind of a family for me right now. So we have climate reality groups, so to say. We have groups in WhatsApp and Telegram, and if I'm not wrong, I saw one of the links of your NHL, the Nature Healers Life Home Composting program, through one of the links shared in the this climate reality. I think it was Telegram group by Ankita, if I'm not wrong, who's also
Yeah,
a
it was
co-founder,
there.
right?
It was there in the ground.
So yeah, and that's how I got to know about this project. Yeah. Yep. We're good to go, Nikhil.
Yeah. So there was a call on behind. Sorry for that. But yeah, great story, Tenzin. So we launched the pilot. It was first publicized only in close-knit circles. We already knew we were eco-conscious people because we wanted to refine it as well. And with your help, with people, climate reality has been a big part for us as well. Both me and Ankita has been climate reality leaders for 2021 cohort. So yeah, exactly. But yeah, moving on. Have you ever composted at home before you took the Earth mission? Uh, did you actually practically do it before at home in a small scale, large scale?
So that's a good one, Nikhil. So actually, I have a confession to make, right, beforehand, so to say.
Right.
So I did my, master's project in studying about the decentralized composting systems in developing countries. And the very goal itself was to, come back, join the community and, uh, kind of start a pilot project. But
Right.
then, it didn't happen. So, of course, due to many reasons. And so, but I was involved in, some community, composting projects.
Right.
And basically it involved, hands of many people. But I wasn't really involved, me as an individual, in particular. So that's kind of a guilt I have throughout. So, so coming back to your question, no, not before NHL came in my life.
Not
So,
before.
and then this NHL home composting program came, and I was really excited, because as they say, since I had this composting brain, some part of composting left here on one side of my brain,
Right.
it kind of sparked that up, your program, the NHL. And then, I joined it, and wow, I really liked it, the way you have created this, because many a times people feel like kind of overwhelmed in some ways,
Right.
like, they feel like composing is a very, manual and, laborious work. And then some people may not relate it to making it in their home themselves, right? So after joining the NHL Home Composting program, I, came to know about, the basic steps involved
Right.
in composting, and I think I did a pretty good job. Yeah, and and the steps you have created is really, easy to follow, but yet at the same time, it's like, very scientific. It's really, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so I want to add a little more to that because Tenzin, you don't do justice to the work that you have done, uh, specifically in home composting. So we do, as NHL in Earth Mission, we do try to break each and every difficult problem into small bite-sized challenges for everyone to absorb it easily. And with the innovation that you brought into it, like for home composting, uh, never realized that, and that's how small scale people can start. Tenzin was the one who gave us that idea. Okay, I'm going to use recycle my Tetra pack into home composting in it. It is very durable on outside, creating some holes, and yeah, starting your journey there. That is really, really impactful for us as well, of how innovation you brought into it and took it forward. So, from all this, from your entire home composting journey, can you share some moments that you did have to change in your lifestyle or did not have to change in your lifestyle to incorporate home composting for the entire 1.5, 2 months that you did? Some special moments to your heart?
Uh, yeah, it's been a, kind of a memorable, journey for me. So,
Right.
like during this whole process, some of you may not, in fact, all of you, who are in that, composing group don't know about it. But through the process, so many things happen. Like, uh, initially, as I said, people, they tend to have this feeling like, now where will I get the bin, right? Where am I gonna get this, brown, so to say? When I say brown,
Right.
it's the,
Yeah.
composting, ingredients. They like the dried leaves or soil. So I also had that thing in my mind.
Right.
But your program, the NHL program, is set up in such a way that it's like you learn this out, and then you are given a period of time to digest it, and then look out if you are truly interested or if you are truly concerned, share the want to share the experience. So I was seriously following this path, and then amazingly, initially I had also the same thought, like, now where I'm going to
Yeah.
get the bins, right? And then I thought, like, okay, in order to store the organic, maybe I could use the Tetra Pak, because I drink this milk package in Tetra Pak. Not that I'm letting people to use Tetra Pak. If you are drinking like any organic milk, please continue to do that. So
Yeah.
I drink milk package in Tetra Pak. So so I use that Tetra Pak in storing the organic, and then I was searching for the bins, right? So, and then we have a like a kind of a handicraft center nearby, and then I saw some leftover like plastic containers. So I thought, like, maybe I could try with that. So I will just show you. So here is the, the composting bin, which was thrown by people, and most probably it will be dumped in a landfill. But then I took it up, and then I pierced holes, as through as by following the steps provided in your program, and then I was able to make it. So that's one thing, right? And then talking about trying to find out the dried leaves as an ingredient for compost. So initially I thought like, now for a day or two, I mean, you won't believe, Nikhil, for a day or two, I thought like, no, I'm not going to do that. where I'm gonna find these stuff, right? So
finding these is so hard.
Yeah, so in a way that was kind of a foolish, like very lazy part of me telling that. So because I'm telling you now, because I always usually go for a morning walk into the woods.
Yeah.
But then I didn't realize, until, through this program that I was actually walking on, nature's gifts everywhere. So I was kind of stunned, I felt like, look at that. Nature is providing us with everything. It's just that, we need to observe. We need to be a little bit more caring, and then we need to pick up, what nature gives us, right? So I took it, I felt very happy at that time, and I also shared some pictures in the group as well. So I picked up all those, dried leaves, and then I started this program. And as they say, magic happens. And truly, nature itself, itself is creating this magic. So, and some may say it's basic science, but yeah, it's kind of amazing.
True, so true, Tenzin. Nature provides everything to us. It's probably our incapability to see and realize what's in front of us. I think most of the time that's what happens. And your story of upcycling that plastic container, like just finding gold in waste, that's pretty much what you've done. You've created black gold from all the waste around you. And that's amazing. That's amazing story. And the story
maybe if I could add a point here in between. So, I mean, I think many people are familiar with growing plants, right? The plant will not grow, will not grow if you do not make the necessary, conditions. So you will need a pot, and then you will need the soil, and then you will need every day now and then you will need to, put the waters, right? So just like that, composting may seem a bit of difficult task beforehand because you will need to find the bin, of course. So those who feel that that's a difficult step, you will need to do that. And then, and then I'm talking about home composting. But if you are creating a compost in a, for a community, that could be done in other ways, right? So you need to, give time, and it shouldn't be like, you won't even feel, I have to, give this much amount of time to composting. So once you get involved, it will become a kind of a habitual, form for you to, just, in between, if you are working at an office or if you are working from home, in between when you take breaks, maybe you can just go down and look at, what's happening at your compost. So if it is too dry, you can mix some, add a little bit of water, or if it is, too wet, maybe you could, add some more, dried leaves and stuff like that. So all I want to say is that, you don't necessarily need to, like arrange a specific amount of time for this particular, process. You just need to enjoy it, and then, everything follows.
Yeah, I think with everything in life, we just need time to let it brew, and that's exactly what you've said. There is obviously time commitment in managing it, which I think you mentioned it's pretty less now. You're just going to the office, going to walks, and you've so imbibed it in your lifestyle, is what I can understand from it. So, Tenzin, on that note, did you face any challenges other than this, what you have talked about while home composting? You mentioned it was too dry, too wet, or any other challenge that you faced? You already touched upon how to source your dry leaves, your browns. Any other challenge you want to touch upon and that you want to mention? And if yes, then how did NHL help in that?
So, yeah, I think that challenge is also solved in a way. It was solved through the NHL program because in the instructions it was pretty clear that one of the biggest challenges while we compost is is the fact that your compost may become too dry or it may become too wet, and both of these are detrimental for the microbes to grow and survive. So one thing, and that was the initial challenge.
Yeah.
But then after it's pretty clear that if you mix a definite proportion of the the dried leaves or the soil with the organic matter that you are composting, and then if you cover it up in a definite proportion,
right,
I don't necessarily think that there will be a problem. So if it is too dry, you will need to add some little water, and if it is too wet, you will need to take it out, and then turn it, and then mix it with a little bit of dried leaves or soil. So basically, that was the challenge, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. And I'm just remembering one more thing right now. So different, organic matter that you put in the compost bin. They have different, specific rates of composting. So you may feel like, okay, even though, let's say, like a banana peel would, get completely composted within a month or so, but then you may see the brown leaves still there, right?
There, yeah.
So, but that's really natural. So you don't really need to worry about it. So, one thing that could be done is, you could use that dried leaf further for the next, composting, the journey that you are going to take. So yeah. So those were the kind of, challenges, or for me, it was really exciting, things that happened. So yeah. Yeah, it's pretty, interesting and exciting.
Yeah, I think it's a very small game. You need to just balance between the three main things. It's the moisture, the organic material that you put, and then the browns that you put in your compost. It's a game in itself. You balance it out. It's going to give you signs if you're balancing it correctly or not correctly, and then with time, it's going to brew into a beautiful home compost. So yeah, Tenzin, now that the pilot is over, are you still continuing with home composting?
So yeah, I'm actually, continuing with the process.
Awesome.
But I'm right now thinking taking a little bit further. So hopefully in the near future, I may, hopefully I'll be able to, start a little bit on a bigger scale, or maybe, like try to educate, other, we have a lot of Tibetans here, right? Some of them who don't speak in English or Hindi. So maybe I would also,
Right.
teach them in Tibetan how to compost. So these are kind of, things which are, occurring in my mind. But yeah, definitely we will need to include the youth in it, especially the school-going students. I truly, feel that the everybody in the school, especially the school students, should have hands-on experience on composting. They should be, they should be able to say after they pass the 12th grade that, there were once a time, I did, composting projects. So these are kind of stuff I'm thinking, planning to carry forward in the coming time. And yeah, that's all thanks to NHL.
No, yeah. Thanks a lot, Tenzin, for those kind words. And taking it even further from home composting to community composting or generating awareness in school-going kids, I think that's going to be amazing with the impact that we can create. And if you need any help from NHL, we're always there to support you,
Oh,
support anyone in their endeavor.
yeah, in fact, I should mention here that, uh, I haven't really found any apps which specifically, work for like composting stuff and, teach us with an easy way of, like carrying out this process.
Right.
So I truly feel that, your program will make really, a remarkable, impact in this field, especially I feel for the school children.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Tenzin. Uh, we we just learned, and the problems that we faced, that's where we try to bring it forward and try to solve for others, and that's how NHL was also born. But so moving ahead from home composting in general and your journey in home composting, are you also taking up other sustainable initiatives with the UN you mentioned? Do you want to shed some light on that? What other sustainable initiatives you might be taking up?
So I'm currently involved in a project. It's called the Youth Engagement in Climate Change.
Right.
So what I basically do is I go to different schools and colleges in India, and especially where they are Tibetans. But I don't mind going to all parts of the to any institution. So right now the project is focused on like providing basic awareness on climate change,
Right.
science, causes, and solutions to the school children, and to help to help or support the youngsters in making their own climate action plans. And that's what I'm currently focused on. Last year, I did one of those with nearly around 1,700 students
Wow.
with the support from U.S. Embassy based here in New Delhi. And this year, I'm hoping to continue the project further. Last year, it was with mainly for students from class 9 to 12. But this year, I'm targeting students from class 9 to 12, plus, those who are in the colleges and the universities. So I'm just, beginning or ready to kick off the kind of, second season of youth engagement in climate change. And,
Right.
and hopefully, your program, I would also be able to share about this NHL program to the school-going kids as well. And hopefully, maybe NHL could support, some of the students who would be really interested in taking up this project.
Yeah. So we have a comment right on this, and I think that's exactly what I also feel. That it is very inspiring to know that you're working with schools and colleges for climate action. Uh, like,
Thank you so much.
it's amazing. It's inspiring. And yeah, any support that NHL can provide, we'll be more than happy to provide that. So we are coming to the end of this Insta Live, Tenzin. We've already, we might exceed a bit. But so, last words for our viewers who have been watching it, Tenzin, any message that you want to give to them, pass on to them?
So, Nikhil, what should I say? I'm still a work in progress. So, but yeah, one thing I could definitely share through, through some of my experiences or looking at those dimes, like, Sir David Attenborough. So, I mean, you can definitely look up to these people like Sir David Attenborough, Mr. Al Gore, or His Holiness the Dalai Lama. As I say that, and yes, of course, your program. So, as I say that, I kind of remember what Sir David Attenborough once said, and he said that human ingenuity has gone through different phases, and there was a time when humans started producing energy from water through the steam engines, and then we have now come to the digital revolution, but now we must going forward we must shift our attention for a sustainable revolution. So I do feel very, very, with full concern, share his thoughts. And along with that, maybe I could also share, one of the, I'm a Buddhist, right? And His Holiness the Dalai Lama is a spiritual leader. So for us, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is like the manifestation of the Lord of Compassion. So we normally recite a daily mantra called Om Mani Padme Hum, which basically means that for every action we take, we will need to combine these two kind of concepts together, and that is the wisdom and the compassion together. So when we talk about compassion, we're talking about being good. We're talking about being but we are talking about considering inner peace as happiness, and not some kind of a superficial outside profit motive, only growth side. So that's the compassion side. And when we talk about the wisdom side, we basically talk about interdependence. And I think that's very, very much relevant in today's time. And the Buddhism, the teaching of Buddhism, was born here in India. So basically, it was all, translated from Sanskrit to, the Tibetan language in the 7th and the 8th century by the, Tibetan kings. So it is basically an Indian, culture. So, I can say that wisdom in compassion in Hindi is called ahimsa, right? And when we talk about wisdom, I think it's called samita patitya, something like that. So I think India has a lot to give to the world at this period of time, and I'm super excited that people like you, Nikhil, Ankita, you have come up with such a kind of a very exciting, yet at the same time one could involve in it, and I'm quite sure the school children and the youngsters will be all out to to join such programs. So yeah, I mean, we are at a time where, time is running out. We are always seeing this news.
Yeah.
But now it's really time, we all, kind of, join our hands together and then go for it, because that's what the, this whole consumption model is based on. What they are doing is they are exploiting, at the macro scale, they have these industries, and at the micro level, they are targeting the individuals, right? And that's how they are growing, and that's how they are destroying the environment. So I truly feel that we will need to create an environment movement which will work at the macro level, and at the macro level, a lot of responsibility should be shouldered by the government, and at the micro level, individuals, we will need to do that. And that's what we can learn from these, big corporations, how the very mechanism which they have used to, destroy the earth, we can use the same mechanism to, save the earth. Yes, Nikhil.
Yeah. Great parting words, Tenzin. How you've suggested that as we've moved, you've shown great prosperity from industrial revolution, we should move towards sustainable revolution. And as we are inspired from all the big people, Dalai Lama, David Attenborough, Al Gore, working on climate action, I think we as humans, as people, as you just mentioned, away from the macro level to the micro level, we act more efficiently when we have people like you who are near to us to actually be inspired from. So yeah, inspiration from all the big people, but act upon by the stories of what you have done, Tenzin. So thanks a lot for joining in with us, for tuning in. Thanks a lot, everyone, for tuning in. Do we have any questions? We can take maybe one question, Ankita, or I think we've already shot up ahead of time. So yeah, thanks a lot, Tenzin, for tuning in today and sharing your story, your composting journey, and your quest for black gold and
Thank you so much,
sustainable.
Nikhil. Thank you
Well,
so much.
thank you.
It's so honored to join this program.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
Tenzin.
Nikhil. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Tenzin. We don't have any questions. We do have a very interesting comment from one of your students, Tenzin.
Okay.
His name is Tenzin Gopal, and he says that you were his teacher when he was studying in school. And he says it's
Okay, Gopal, yeah.
very inspiring to see you continue your work for climate change. And he has also written something that maybe you can help explain. He says, Genla Tashi Delek.
Okay. So Genla means teacher in Tibetan language. Tashi Delek means namaste. So I know Gopal.
Okay.
I clearly remember he is a brilliant guy. Gopal, please keep up your good work. And hopefully, as I said, we will need to, come up with a solution which is right in front of us. The very mechanism that the big corporations are using, we will need to use that same mechanism. So, and that could be done only through collaboration. So I'm glad that, I have been able to collaborate with the NHL program, and hopefully we'll be able to continue this for a long, long time.
Definitely, we'll be continuing this forward. So thanks a lot, Tenzin. Thanks a lot, Ankita, for organizing this. Thank you, NHL. And I guess Tenzin wants to ask something. Is that it, or should we call it a quit?
Yeah, Tenzin, you can ask your question in the comments.
We're already 9 minutes ahead of time, so maybe we can take this last question of Tenzin and then. So Tenzin, your student Gopal has a question of how can we pitch our ideas?
How can pitch your ideas? So Gopal, that's the that's the whole goal. So we are, we will need to, come up with a good plan. So that's very important, first of all. And then, in a plan that could be done at the individual level, at the community level, and now I also feel it's very, very important at the political level as well, because every now and then, hi Gopal,
It's like a lot.
because every now and then we vote, right? And as I said, at the macrocosm or at the macroscopic level, the government will need to make a big effort. So for that part, we will need to push into those politicians who are very much sincere about placing
So
Earth
like
or the planet or people over profit. So yeah, Gopal, please speak. Yeah.
I was thinking like for an artist, because that's my profession for now, and so when we utilize art, not just as an activist point of view, but in terms of education, and also to allow people to come in, express in terms of visual art and music and dance, it becomes pretty challenging to pitch our ideas forward. And like in terms of crowdfunding, I have tried few times now to gather funds from the people, and but it's been really challenging. So are there any tips to like how we can make our entire practice, like idea and how we approach our idea? Can you give some ideas about that, like some suggestions?
So Gopal, I mean, I can tell you from my little experience. I mean, you should never give up. So first of all, that's very, very important. And then you should pursue your goals, like fully, wholeheartedly. And then I mean, opportunities are everywhere. So you will need to look out for the opportunity. You will need to I mean,
Right.
I think you are also a part of now climate reality, right? And as I
Yes,
said,
yes.
at the macroscopic level, the government and the big organizations, say like, for example, climate reality, I mean, they have a big responsibility, to, to connect the dots. Because for the individuals, it may be very, very difficult, to, get themselves connected with everybody. But these, bigger institutions, including the government and the big organizations, they could do that. So one thing you will definitely need to do is you will definitely need to follow the work of these organizations. And if you are very much looking into providing support of art in the climate movement, I'm quite sure these groups or organizations must be looking for somebody like you. So Gopal, all I could say is that you should keep the spirit going and communicate with anybody, especially the like-minded people. So and then I always take it like this. Today, let's say I have a very hard time, right? And then I will absorb this moment for today itself. But when I wake up tomorrow, I'm not gonna get myself attached to yesterday. I'm gonna start fresh, keep it going, and that's how if life continues like that, then I think it will be super exciting. So Gopal, I hope that so Gopal, that was basically seems like there's some problem with the connection.
Yeah, it looks like there is a problem in the connection. But I think, yeah, that was a wonderful elaboration to the question that Gopal had. I think Nikhil is also facing some technical issues. So anyways, we are anyways quite over time. It was great fun speaking with you, Tenzin, today. And I guess with that, we would really like to thank you for joining and for being a part of this Insta Live. Your experience has been wonderful. And the fact that you shared that experience has been really enlightening for us.
Thank you so much, Ankita. And yeah, please keep your wonderful program going. And and hopefully we'll find ways to collaborate. And yeah, best wishes. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you. Yeah. Is back also.
Yeah, Nikhil, we were just wrapping up. Well, thank you so much, Archana. Archana says great session. Thank you.
Perfect. We kind of overshot on time, but thanks a lot, Tenzin, for sharing your viewpoints, your journey. And I think one thing that really sticks with me is collaboration. If you're facing any issue, how to move forward, how to pitch our ideas or any other way, it's to collaborate, it's to speak out, it's to reach out to people, it's to talk about it. And everyone is so supportive, as you've just mentioned, Tenzin. So yeah, on that note, thanks a lot everyone for tuning in. Sorry for exceeding the time limit. We will adhere to it from next time. And thanks a lot. See you next time, people. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tenzin.
Bye-bye.